Is statistically in the U.S., black women are more successful than black men. Should the roles change now, or do they just need to get it together? So who wants to chime in first?
I definitely don't think that the roles should change at all. Why should we lower ourselves because our counterpartners haven't increased their aim yet? So I think they just need to step up to the plate, handle their business, shift their focus back to doing more productive things instead of trying to be a gangster, and we should be okay.
I would like to comment. I don't automatically assume that just because a man is not successful that he is a gangster. I think successful is all relative. I believe that our society, particularly our race, has become victims of what other people define as successful.
And so I have to piggyback off that is by living up to those societal standards, the focus has shifted to, okay, I want to impress, or I need that immediate gratification, as opposed to working hard for what you want and building a future based on, planting seeds in the right places. And I think a lot of our men suffer from that instant gratification syndrome, which leads to, making poor choices. To answer the question, should the roles change now? I don't agree, no. I think that we definitely have to support our men. I don't want to go all the way into the 400 years of slavery and, the oppression and, but our black men are under a lot of strain, as are black women. But I think that we definitely have to enter into relationships with honest dialogue about what our expectations are.
I agree.
And be honest with ourselves about whatever bad habits we may have, and truly support our men. And they may need us to help, baby, you can do it. You want to build shelves? Well, then, okay, let me go get some nails and a new hammer for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But definitely as far as changing the roles, no, because God designed it a certain way, in my belief, and we need to go ahead and live up to that.
And I don't think there's a problem with growing and working together.
Right.
That if you start off in one place, that doesn't necessarily mean that's where you have to end up, and that's where the relationship is going to stay throughout the remainder of the relationship. If as long as you have goals, you have aspirations, and you, like you said, have that open dialogue and let the person know that this might not be where I want to be right now, but this is where I'm going. And then just take that journey with the person and grow.
And I think a lot of times, too, we define success in monetary formats.
Right.
And I believe that couples can definitely elevate to infinite levels if you define what success is to you and not succumb to what other people define as successful. I mean, because the thing about it is, in my opinion, a man's finances, I think we can tear a man down based on, how we categorize him as far as, how successful he is based on how many zeros are behind his paycheck. And he, I don't think that's very productive for us and our growth to, judge our men by the standards of others.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because just a song lyric comes to mind where they were talking about how they're in first class and they're looking back in the coach and they're seeing all these families and they're kind of envious of that. Like they have all this money, they have all this fame, they have all this success, and they're looking back at like a father and son sharing a moment, or they're thinking back to all the moments that they missed with their family because they had to go out and make the money to be successful.
Let's say he's paying everything prior to marriage. Should you or should you not step it up and assist with the bills?
Yeah, it's the person's attitude. Like, I'm sorry, say your name?
Sania.
Like Sania was saying, if they saw that their fathers took care of everything and mom just kind of sat back, then if they might feel like that's their role in the family, is to, like, if you're capable of doing it and you have your own ideas, I don't think you should by any means just sit back and take it if you feel like you should be doing more. But if you have the same role in your family, you might think, hey, that's how it happens,
Hey, that's how I
get my allowance,
Yeah.
But what if you grew up in a single family household where your mother was the breadwinner and she did everything, so then you deal with women who don't know how to let, that other, for me, again, to answer that question, that open dialogue before we get married will rectify that. Now, that's not to say that there's not going to be a gray area when you get into that, but at least you know, started to peel away the layers. But if he's paying everything and he's not expecting me to work, ooh, wouldn't that be wonderful?